We're good. Go ahead.
Hello and welcome to Chats con Sabor. Hi everybody, I'm here with my beautiful co-host Yvette.
Look up there.
Linda is missing today because she's not feeling good. So it's just Yvette and I. So here we go.
It's us again. Just us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Anyway, hi everybody. Today we are talking about the topic of can women and men be friends?
Ooh, this is a spicy one too.
Like for real friends. We're talking about for real friends.
No, but it's spicy because not a lot of people agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. I know. But I will tell you that I am one that I have more guy friends than I do girlfriends.
So do I.
And I get along better with men for whatever reason. Yeah, but we're going to get into the nitty gritty of everything.
Let's do it.
Oh, but first, before we do, last week on episode 10, we were talking about red flags, and we put up on our socials at the little boxes where people can tell us about their red flags and stuff. So I had a few people actually reach out. I'd like to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'd love to go over those because, and just a few. I'm just going to choose maybe two or three. But the first one
This is exciting.
Yeah. One of our friends actually sent me one this morning. And this one says, the grass might be greener on the other side, but it's just as hard to mow.
Love it.
Isn't that good?
That is so good.
Like it gave me chills. Like, just because you think that's a red flag for people who are constantly, trying to leave to get to the next best thing, right?
Well, they think it's the next best thing.
Exactly. And that was the point. Like, you're still going to have to water and mow the grass. The grass is still going to grow. You're still going to have to upkeep
You got to
the lawn.
feed it. You got to show it love. I mean, I love that. That should be a t-shirt.
That should be. That should be. Exactly. Then we have another one by another one of our audience members that says, guys, we're talking about red flags here. Guys who always put it on the women that we aren't aggressive enough. So I think she's talking about how we were talking about how men like to be chased. So this particular person obviously has been through something like this where maybe the man wanted her to chase him. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. And please correct me if I'm wrong, audience member.
I'm old school, baby.
Yeah. We talked a lot about this on last week's episode where, we're more on the traditional side where we need men to just go for what they want. I mean, sure, we can do that, but then you're putting us in a position of power in the relationship.
Yeah.
And then we take your man card. We'll pull your man card at every single turn. Then it's no longer an equal relationship in that sense.
Yeah.
So if the man comes for what he wants, then he's the man in the relationship. He's the leader. He's the decision maker, but he comes to his partner for guidance and opinions and, doing life together. We're not saying obey that whole the thing in marriage and stuff, but it rings true. So
I think that it triggers when men want that. Just remember, it triggers that the woman's masculine energy.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. blah. So if you want her to be the aggressor, you need to be mentally prepared.
Oh yeah.
To have someone that's aggressive and is going to take control of the situation, because once a woman gets control, that's it.
Yep, it happened to me. Or it happened with me in my marriage. Yeah, I was in control of mostly everything. And I think it leads to deeper rooted issues later on in the relationship because you don't respect the man. You don't value his input because now you're in that mode of now I have to make the decisions all the time. Yeah. I had to be the one to come to him. I had to be the one to start off the relationship. Now, that's not to say again that you just sit back and, okay, you come do everything for me and that's it. Obviously, you're putting in your input, your effort, right, into the relationship. But from the beginning, he should be the one chasing. He should be the one courting, So anyway.
I know you guys probably disagree, but.
Yeah. And let us know if you disagree and tell us why you disagree.
Yeah, for sure. Comment, please. We're always looking for stuff like this.
Especially gentlemen. I know we have a lot of friends that are in the dating scene now. They might see things differently. I don't know. I mean, they're just tired of chasing women and getting nowhere. So there's that too. We get that. Okay, I'm going to give one more and then we'll jump right into our can men and women be friends? Which I'm going to say yes right now, right off the bat. Meeting a girl for the first time and then realizing it was all filters on her profile.
Ouch.
Yeah, so I had this happen to a friend of mine, and yeah, we're gonna have an actual episode based off of catfishing, where we're gonna be talking about all that, why people do it, why people accept, all of that. We'll dive deeper into that, but I think that's a big one too.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Goes back to what we were saying. Just be who you are. I understand a filter here or there where you want to just take away blemishes off your face. That's fine. But to completely change who you are or using filters that completely change who you are and not presenting yourself in your true form online just to be able to land a man or a woman, because it happens there too. That's not okay. It's not okay. But thank you to our audience. We love you.
Love these comments.
Yes. We love the interaction. So let's dive right in.
Hit me with it, sister.
I'm hitting. Okay, so let's talk about the sexual tension between a male and female friendship. On both sides. What do you think? Can you get past it? Can you truly be a friend to this man if you're sexually attracted to him? Or if there's sexual tension there, that there's sexual tension there?
I have honestly, as far as I can remember, I have really, when I have a friend, a male friend, he's my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's almost like my mind automatically switches that other, oh, he's a good looking dude, or he's this, he's that. It has that barrier where I know the importance of our friendship and I would not cross that line.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Right.
And I think I've had that my whole entire life.
Have you ever had
weird.
A friendship with a man where then he kind of switches the script on you though and says, he fesses a feeling basically, or tries to you're in a moment and then,
I had that happen to me once. And I mean, we were like best friends and, some situations happened in my life. And then all of a sudden it was like, can we try this? And I looked at him like, yeah, no. Like, no way.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't feel that way for you. And what makes you think that I would get to that point and then we would ruin our friendship?
Yeah.
Or what if we get into a relationship and it doesn't work and then we ruin our friendship?
And you ruin the friendship.
You know?
Yeah. I had many of those situations happen to me where they end up confessing a feeling and stuff, and where the same as you, I had to put that boundary.
Mm-hmm.
I had to set the boundary and I had to let them know, no, like you and I were just friends. We are not anything more than friends. And I don't want to ruin our friendship. I would rather have you as a friend. And because I know you as a friend, I can't be with you in a relationship because that's not what I'm looking for. I accept you in all your oneness, your beingness as a friend, but I'm not looking for that in a man.
I think what kind of set my boundaries too with people is knowing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like knowing their deepest, darkest secrets. And you're like, yeah, I'm not going through that, type of thing. So it kind of kills anything that is
romantic,
blossoming or anything like that. Yeah. You're just like, oh, you're a dog and you want to try with me? Yeah, not happening.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I think that kind of plays into it a lot for me. Like just knowing too much about that person would completely
just ruin it.
Yeah.
I do feel like it's an issue though, if there's sexual tension, whether the man is sexually attracted to the woman or vice versa. I feel like that definitely ruins the friendship. I mean, you can't be friends. If you are sexually attracted to each other, then you can't just be friends.
No.
Because one day you'll slip and then, oh, he's so nice and I love him as a friend. And then and then it just fucks everything up.
And you have to be careful with that too, because when you cross that line, then the jealousy starts. You can't have those conversations with that person one-on-one anymore.
Yeah.
It's just, that's messy. It's just messy.
So messy. Oh yeah, no, it's so messy. Okay, so I was watching a reel, and I get a lot of ideas for us to talk about stuff when I'm watching reels. So this one said, the only way to be friends is to not be attracted to each other, which is basically what I just said. But what happens when the attraction builds over time due to the friendship developing? So you're friends for say a year, and then and there's no attraction because when you met them they weren't your type, and this goes for men and women. They weren't your type, so you friend zone them and everything is going great as a friendship. But then you start developing feelings for this friend, or they start developing feelings for you. How do you handle something like that? Do you end the friendship, or do you talk about it and try to get past the past the attraction? I mean,
I would think the conversation would be had, and then if nothing changes, then I hate to lose a friend, but friends sometimes are seasonal. I guess our season has ended. My friend.
Oh, that should be on a shirt. Our season has ended. With a little wet face, like, oh.
I know it's hard because when you love somebody, you don't want to see them go away. You know,
Right.
You want to continue sharing that love and that experience with them, growing together as friends, but you have to make a hard decision
Yeah.
if it passes that boundary that you have,
Right.
So
Right.
sometimes
Well,
you got to sacrifice.
especially when there's a moment, you share a special moment, then all of a sudden he or she tries to land one on you or something, and then you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's, I don't know, but I feel like developing feelings for somebody or that attraction for somebody over time probably happens more than not,
Yeah.
more often than not.
I think it happens more like when you're younger, when you're in high school, elementary school,
Yeah.
how you hear those little love stories of you were best friends with your high school sweetheart in the middle school, and now you're high school sweetheart, so you can't move on to college and then you destroy a friendship. But I think it happens more so when you're younger than it does
when you're older. Yeah, you're right. Probably because of the glow ups.
Mm-hmm.
Like what happens when you're in elementary school to junior high and then to high school, you have little glow ups, women and men, both. And so maybe the attraction develops like that over time because, you've seen
you spend
them.
so much time together. You've shared so many things. You've seen each other naked. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
you
think about it.
Eating dirt and eating worms together at one point, and now all of a sudden he thinks you're the hottest thing, since sliced bread.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
I know it does happen. Oh man, it's sad, but again, the whole season thing. Oh yeah, our season has come to an end. Oh, okay. What about women and men sharing in different ways than say girlfriends do or guy friends do? What do you feel about that, or do you think that women and men share differently with each other than say girlfriends or guy friends do?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that I think men are more comfortable with talking something out with a woman than they are with a man, because sometimes, especially in our age group, they'll be like, stop being such a pussy, whereas they can talk to one of us or whatever and be just sincere and open, because they're not going to get that judgment. They're going to get, hey, well, why don't you think about this? Or because we're more logical, we're emotional, but we also can separate the two.
Oh yeah, we can compartmentalize a lot better.
So I definitely think that,
definitely share differently. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. I remember in high school, my friends were mostly guys, and they felt like they were able to share with me a lot easier than they would with their guy friends. They would always tell me, oh my gosh, you're so cool and you're so easy to talk to and yada, yada, yada. And I mean, yeah, I guess I was. And I would give them advice and all that stuff.
They
and
would tell us their secrets.
Oh yeah. People tell me their secrets all the time. And sometimes I'm like, oh boy. Like, please don't tell me these. I really don't want to know these things about you, but it happens. But I definitely feel like, and I'm thinking about just back in high school, that there were certain friends that I felt closer to, male friends that I felt closer to because I felt like I could trust them a little bit easier. They weren't going to go and run off. Now, I'm not saying men don't gossip,
Oh,
okay?
they gossip.
Because
They
men
love
gossip.
the gossip. They love the juice.
They're comadres
Yeah.
too. But back then I just felt like I could just trust men or guys, boys more than I did. Now, as I got older and my friendships developed, I've said this before in different podcasts that I have a hard time making friends. And when my friendships develop like that, normally I don't lose friendships. If we're friends like
For
forever. Yeah. Something major has to happen in order for me to detach from that friendship. But with men, I feel like the friendship develops a lot easier and more smoothly. And I don't know if it's because I look at myself as like just one of the guys, or they look at me that way. I don't know. I think it's just easier for that friendship to just develop and to carry on. Do you think, though, with your male friends, has this ever happened to you where you have to skirt around their ego, where you can't be real with them, tell them like it is?
Oh,
Has that ever happened?
That's a tough one because there's so many factors.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm a Jersey-born girl. I'm Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
And like those two combined, there's like no filter. So I feel like I'm more sensitive to women than I am to men. I feel like a guy can take it better if you say, dude, you're being such an ass.
Yeah.
And this is why you're XYZ. To where a woman, I feel like you have to pitter patter around the feelings. And you and I have discussed this before. I'm scared sometimes because I get diarrhea of the mouth and I want to be careful, but at the same time, I want to get my point across.
Right.
So sometimes I'd rather not say anything to a female, but I think it's easier to tell a guy, hey, you're being an asshole. This is why your marriage is not working.
Yeah.
Or this is why your relationship sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I've worked with men for over 20 something years. So I've developed like really thick skin with shit. So I have a rough time. I've told you. I'm like, how am I going to be compassionate? Weird with feelings. I'm sorry, but it's true. Ask her. I tell her all the time. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I just want to say, shut the fuck up.
That is so funny.
Sorry, guys. She's more sensitive. She'll be like,
I am. Well, which is so funny because I'm a Virgo, okay? Virgos are very blunt. We're very straightforward. This is how it is, A, B, C, D. And normally, especially in my work life, I'm like a bullet point type of person. I don't do smiley faces. In one of my previous jobs, I had to...
Except for me.
Yeah. I had to force myself, though. I had to force myself in emails to be more soft. So I had to throw in a few smiley faces. And now I fucking like emoji this and emoji that. Well, that doesn't sound right. Let me add an emoji there.
I sound like an asshole.
Yeah.
Smiley face.
Smiley face. Sorry, not trying to be an asshole, but
when I remember when I first started working in like the corporate atmosphere, like they would say, some of your emails are a little rough. Can you like tone them down a little bit? Because I'm trying to get my point across. But in my head, I'm like, well,
you're just being matter of fact.
Yeah. It's very professional. I feel like, so then I started doing the smiley face, we'll get to it when we can. I'm like, people need to grow a backbone.
Yeah. Grow some thick skin, bro. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. No, yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from because I was told the same thing. Like, you're a little bit, you sound a little mean. When I remember one of my team members said that to me one time, and I looked at her and I'm like, you think I'm mean? Like, really? And she was like, yeah, Yvette, yeah. Sometimes people are afraid of you. And I'm like, afraid of me? I'm like, wow. Like, because in the professional world, I'm like, no bullshit. We're not here to be friends. We're here to get a fucking job done. And I expect for you to do
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, and you're not doing, whatever. So I'm there to get a job done. I'm not here to be your freaking counselor. But I had to learn. That was early in my leadership years. I had to learn, though, that being a good leader doesn't mean it's not all about work. I have to make everybody feel included. I have to make everybody feel valued. So it's funny that in my work life, I'm such a hard ass, but then in my regular life, I'm a big old softie and I cry at fucking commercials, and I'll be sitting at Walgreens reading something. I'm like, oh my God, like, oh shit, fucking Hallmark greeting cards. They get me every time. I cry in movies. I cry when someone else is crying. I feel that because I'm an empath, I feel their pain, like if it's mine. So I'm very emotional. Definitely an emotional being when it comes to that.
She's very emotional.
I am. Such a wuss.
The Jersey girl, not so much.
However, going back to the question of do we skirt around their egos, I did have a couple friends where they felt, because like you, I felt like they could take it better. They could take the straight and narrow, cut and dry type of conversation. Nope, I hurt people's feelings. I've hurt men's feelings. I've hurt men's feelings before. Yikes. I know. I'm like, ooh, okay, wow, I'm sorry. And those are the situations where, let me tell you something. If I see you crying, more than likely I'm going to tear up because I'm going to feel it and everything. But when I see
vulnerable,
when I see a man cry, though, that's it for me. I'm like, waterworks. Like,
yeah,
oh my
I
God.
can't see a dude cry. Sorry.
I feel it like 10 times more than I do a female crying, because I don't know.
You know what it is? Because
my heart breaks for them.
Men don't show emotions often. So when you do see one, you know that they're in pain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's truly felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not women bashing. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah.
It's just different when you see a male in pain than a female. Like we let everything out, and when we're hurting, we'll scream. But men hold and hold and hold and hold and hold because they've always been told, especially old school, back in the day, like when we were raised, that you can't cry, you can't feel things. Yeah. This is what you need to do, So I think it's painful. Like I can feel that pain, something bad. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I can't handle it. Ugh. And then all I want to do is just grab them and hug them and tell them everything's going to be okay, even though I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm just like, I can't fix your problems, but everything's going to be fine. I will tell you though, a little funny side note here, side story. And I don't know if I've said this or not yet, but my ex-husband and I, when we were dating, we were not married yet. She took me to watch the movie Selena. Aww. Yeah. I did not cry. Shocker. I did not cry on that movie. The end, especially the end where they had the montage and everything of her life, like the real Selena. I think because I had my emotions shut off. You know what I mean? And he cried. My ex-husband cried. He shed a tear. He wasn't like, oh, but tears were coming out of his eyes. And I look at him and I'm like, and he's like, that was such a good movie, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, why are you crying? Like,
Pobrecito.
I know. That was one time where I didn't let him be in his feelings. You know what I mean?
You ruined it.
I did ruin his experience. I'm sorry. I own that. I own it. I ruined his experience for the movie. Anyway, yeah.
Pobrecito.
Sorry. All right. Well, I think we kind of answered this already, but are men just as catty as women?
See? Hell yeah.
Not only do they love to gossip, but yeah, they can be very catty too, like tit for tat type of thing.
And they beg to differ, because I have a couple friends that beg to differ. Oh, you women are the worst. But get them in the corner of an office and they're like,
yeah. So I agree. I think that men can be just as catty, if not worse sometimes.
And they can be just as mean as women too.
Oh yeah. When my guy friends started acting like girls, I literally had to like put an end to that. And then there was a couple of times where I had to put an end to the friendship, because I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. Like, this is why I don't deal with women or girls, whatever. Like back then, I'm thinking high school years, but This is why I don't deal with them. I don't have a lot of friends because of this, because I don't do this. Like, whatever this is, like, take it home. I don't want it. You know, I'm like, nah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Bye. Man, we're just rushing through these. I have our slice of advice for today. And let me see. Let me see. I have it actually on my phone, so I apologize. Since we are talking about male and female friendships, I ran into this and I was like, oh, this is perfect for a slice of advice. Ladies and gentlemen, these are 5 signs that he or she likes you but is hiding it.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Take out your pens and paper.
Take some notes.
Okay, the first one is subtle jealousy. Watch for signs of possessiveness or discomfort when you interact with others. Right? And your friend is like uncomfortable. These hints of jealousy may suggest their hidden romantic feelings. The second one is body language cues. Pay attention to their nonverbal cues like nervousness, fidgeting, mirroring your actions, or prolonged eye contact. These gestures might reveal their true emotions. So if you ever catch somebody, like, just, you know, like your male friend or your female friend watching you, like, you know, with a gaze, like, yeah, they probably like you. They probably like you. Teasing and playful banter. Do you remember when you were in school and they used to come and pull your hair or punch you? These little shits. Yeah. That's because they liked you.
And we grew up to love them. Look at that. Go figure.
Dude, but back then when I remember in kinder, I beat up several little boys. Yeah. I beat up several little boys because they would come and pull my hair.
She's out of control.
Yeah, I was a menace to society. Anyway, they might use playful teasing or lighthearted banter as a way to connect with you and gauge your reaction, testing the waters for mutual interest. Okay.
Oh.
Increased attention.
Oh.
If they show heightened interest in you, such as actively engaging in conversations or remembering small details about your life, it's a good sign that you hold a special place in their thoughts. Not their hearts yet, but their thoughts.
I just got a light bulb with all those little things.
Do tell.
No, you don't want me to tell.
Oh. Okay, never mind. Don't tell. Acts of kindness. If they consistently go out of their way to help and support you, even with small gestures, it could be a sign of deeper feelings.
And they just keep racking up. She laughs because she knows exactly where my head's at.
I know. I'm like, well,
Carry on.
now I know you're talking about me. So there's your slice of advice. Bye.
No, that was actually fantastic. Those are good signs.
Yeah, pay
Guys,
attention.
Girls,
Pay attention.
Pay
Yeah,
attention.
because it works both ways. It's not just for the guys or for the girls where their guy friends are looking at them this way or doing these things. It's also for the guys or your girlfriends, girls that you think they're your homies, your homegirls, whatever. Like, yeah.
Yeah, cuidado.
Cuidado. Pay attention.
But on a spin on the other side, like Yvette says, I'm the lone wolf.
Yeah.
Sometimes your best friend could be the love of your life.
Okay. Shh. Hold that thought because we're going to get into that.
Okay. Sorry. I'm not the lone wolf.
Okay. So moving on. How do you tell your male friends that they're acting like girls? I just kind of said right now that, you know.
Stop being such a bitch.
Stop being a pussy. Grow up hair. Grow up hair, bro, because yeah, you're being a girl right now. Stop it. Stop acting like a girl. That is so funny.
We've had conversations about this. This is why we laugh.
Yeah. That is so funny. Okay, now jealousy and insecurity from both friends, okay? Like either your male friend being jealous with you or you being jealous of your male friend, okay? When they're dating someone, when the other is dating someone. So you and I are friends. I'm a guy, you're a girl. you're dating your significant other, and I'm jealous of that relationship. Yeah. How do you address that with your friends? Because if he's jealous or she's jealous, there's something more.
I guess let's dive into this one though.
Mm-hmm.
Is she jealous because the attention is being taken away from her? Or is she jealous because she's jealous of the relationship and the romance? Or is she jealous because she has feelings for your guy?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Plot twist. I was
mean,
going to say
think about
both. I was going to say both of the first two that you said, because
Or she has feelings for you. Who knows?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
okay, the jealousy could stem from, or insecurity, because it might not necessarily be a jealousy. It's just an insecurity of this new person coming in and then messing with the friendship. It might not necessarily be always a romantic thing. You know what I mean? Oh, you're with this guy now, and I'm sitting here on the sidelines. Now you and I aren't hanging out as much. So then that's going to make me feel insecure about our friendship, because now I don't have you. So there's that.
Because sometimes it could be like your friend knew them 1st
Mhm.
and kind of had something for them, and then all of a sudden now you're dating that person.
Yeah.
And it's just, it becomes a thing, because then I've had this happen to me when I was in high school. So my friend, I'll never forget this. My friend was dating my first boyfriend's cousin,
Okay.
but she was interested in my first boyfriend. She wasn't interested in the cousin. She dated him to date him so she could be close to all of us.
Yeah.
But her interest was him. So as soon as him and I broke up,
She swooped
she swooped in and she started dating him.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And left the cousin on the curb.
Left the cousin on the curb, and her and I were never friends again. Girl code.
Yeah, that's different. But what about like with a male and female friendship though? Has that ever happened to you? With your guy friends being jealous of or insecure?
I've had guy friends that like truly protect me as their sister,
Mhm.
and they would be like, they would make it known that their presence is, if you fuck with her, you're fucking with me.
Right.
So
You
clear
have to
like
deal
that.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had friendships like that. Like they're really coddling me because they had that love for me. But I don't know. I can't remember that far back. There's certain things I remember. Certain things I know. I'm getting old. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had like a jealousy thing. I know that I've had me personally. It's not that I was jealous, but when I saw a wrong, I felt obligated to say something to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want that person to be hurt. And I didn't care if it was my best friend, my sister, my cousin. I didn't care who it was.
Yeah.
If I saw a wrong, the other person would know that I saw it wrong.
Yeah.
Or I would hint to the fact that there was something going on. Maybe you want to be at my house at Tuesday at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah. Come rolling around. Because this bitch is trying to get with my cousin or my brother or my whoever.
So yeah. There was times but it was more of a protection thing. It wasn't like a jealousy thing, because I've always been like, cheating is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. It doesn't matter who does it, who doesn't do it. It's wrong. If you're going to hurt somebody, just let them go. It's not worth the pain you go through. So I think I've been like that since I was super young. Like, just fucking tell the truth. Move on. It's like,
have the guts to move on.
And I know that at that point we were super young, like super, super young, but I still had the common sense and common knowledge to know that that was not right.
Right. Yeah.
What you were doing. So.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I had a friend one time who he was friends with the guy that I was dating. Actually, I had several friends like this, but because they hung out in a large group of people. And he and I were really good friends. And he would always tell me what my boyfriend at the time was doing. And at one point I had to tell him, you can't do that to me anymore. You can't do that. I know that you're doing it because you care about me and you're my friend. You're trying to protect me and tell me that. But you can't tell me what's going on with all the guys, because he's behaving in that way with all the guys, and he feels safe. And I never brought it to my boyfriend at the time. I never brought it to his attention because I didn't want to start anything between them, because then they would know. And a little part of me knew. He doesn't listen to the podcast because we're not in contact anymore. But if he ever did, obviously I'm not saying his name, but
he would know.
He would know who he was, who he is. Anyway, I knew he had a thing for me, but I kept the friendship going because he was so sweet, and he was always like looking out for me, literally looking. And he was very, very attractive, but I wasn't attracted to him in that way. Like I knew he was like handsome, cute, and his personality made him even cuter. But I would never like leave my boyfriend to like go and be with him. You know what I'm saying?
I have questions.
Yeah, ask away.
How did you know he had a thing for you? What were the clues?
Let's go back to our slice of advice. The eyes looking at me like for a long time. I would turn around and I would catch him looking and be like, what? Like, what? Do I have a booger on my nose? You know? I would catch him like staring at me all the time. And so I would try to play things off, because that's what I do. And I would just make it like a joke or whatever. But I would catch him looking at me a lot. He would call me. Back then we didn't have cell phones, but he would call my house all the time. Every day I would talk to him after school, because we went to different high schools, and then we actually ended up going to the same high school. And so he would always walk me to class. He would be at my door. Right? He would leave his classes early to be at my door of my classroom to walk me to the next class and carry my books and stuff like that.
Your little guardian angel.
Oh yeah. That guy had a thing for me big time. Yeah, I could tell. And I when I had the conversation with him of him telling me all these things, so I knew he was trying to protect me and stuff, but I also felt like he was trying to drive a wedge in his way, and maybe not actually trying to do it like in a manipulative way, but I knew he felt some type of way for me. So I knew that he was probably hoping that I would leave my ex.
Oh, he wanted to pick up those pieces.
He did. Like I said, he was super attractive. So if I was going to leave my boyfriend for anybody, it would be him.
Like, wait for the dustpan.
And the way he treated me, it was so sweet. And of course, my boyfriend didn't treat me like that. I mean, he was out of high school, so he was never at school with me. But yeah, it's crazy. But when I did, I had to make sure that the conversation I had with him, when I told him, you got to stop doing this, I didn't like put him on blast, and I didn't like say, I know you like me, so you got to stop, yada, yada, yada. I just told him, like, it's unfair that you're trying to be more of a friend to me than you are to him. And you're like, kind of almost like spying on him. Let him have his time. If he's going to fuck up, he's going to fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'll find out about it. I will, whether you tell me or not, I'm going to find out about it, because I always did. Oh boy. Yeah. So, but I was trying to be gentle, like with his heart too, because I knew I felt it from him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It was that love vibe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was such a nice guy. Yeah. Anyway, memories. I don't know how we got to that from talking about how to tell our friends that they're acting like girls.
We pretty much said it. You said, stop being a pussy. I said, stop being a bitch.
Oh no, we talked about jealousies and insecurities. Yeah. Okay, so now we talked about how our friends act when we're dating somebody new or we're together with somebody. What about our significant others and how they feel about friendships with a female or a male?
Oh, that's spicy.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they have a hard time with it, because my partner has mentioned to me, he's like, I can feel it.
He's like, I pick up on that.
Yeah. He's like, I can feel the way he looks at you, the way he's talking to you. He's like, I can feel it. A guy doesn't treat a girl XYZ. He's very He's very in tune with that.
Mm.
So, yeah, I don't think all men, I don't think all women are okay with, you know, different sex friendships.
With the friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a little bit differently on this only because I know that, ow.
It's not the wine.
It's not, it was my elbow.
That was her first glass, promise.
I think a little bit differently on this only because I know for sure that I have male friendships that are platonic. There's no, I'm not trying to be in there getting with them. They're not trying to get with me. You know, we're females. We know, and we know when a man is into us and when they're attracted to us. Although I will say that there's plenty of times, and she knows, plenty of times where I don't catch on right away. Because I think everybody's...
It's work, people. It's work.
I think it's because I feel like everybody's just trying to be nice. They're just cool, you know, because I'm used to having that first interaction with men as just, hey, you're cool. Yeah, you too. Almost like a friendship.
I'm like, she's over here trying to explain this to you guys, and this is the way I look at her when she's explaining it to me.
She looks at me and I'm like, no,
Okay.
Seriously, because I know that that's how I'm coming across or how I'm presenting myself. We're friends. We're going to be cool and we're friends. And you know, that's awesome. Like I'm telling you, I have most of my friends growing up, and to this day, most of them are males. I just get along better with males. So I know that I can have a friendship with somebody. So I'm not gonna, if I get into a relationship and I see he's got a best friend that's a female, or he hangs out with a bunch of females, first of all, I'm going to question that only because you have to have some male friends if you're a man.
You have to.
You just have
at
to.
least one or two, man.
Yeah, because if all you're hanging out with girlfriends then is either A, they like you and they're bullshitting you and you like that they stroke your ego, or B, you're not secure enough in your manhood where you can actually be in a group of men or be friends with other men, or C, you like your friends, you like the attention that they give you, and you're, like I said, a stroking of the ego, but then also you feel safe with them, and then maybe you've got mommy issues. You have to have a mix, I feel, if you're a male. If you're a female and you don't have any male friends,
there's a D in there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Tell me.
You can be gay.
Oh, yeah. Or you're gay.
And you like hanging out with females. Happens all the time.
Yes.
I put the D in there because it's true.
No, it's true. It's true.
I love
true.
my gays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had two really, really good friends in high school that were gay. And, oh, man, yeah, I love those guys.
They're like,
yeah,
freaking awesome.
You
can tell them.
Unfortunately, I
they
don't
have a little
any friends
female,
right now.
A little male.
Yeah,
you get best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I don't have any friends right now that I hang out with. I know people, obviously, that are gay, but that I hang out with, like on a personal level, building that friendship. I don't. The last ones that I had were when I was in high school, where they would come over to my house and tell me, "Girl, that does not look good. Take it off." Okay, that type of friendship. So it could be that too, and in reverse for the girls,
versa, yeah,
for the girls too. Although I will say that if you have a female though that doesn't have any male friends, then I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. But if she doesn't have any female friends, then I feel like it's almost like a red flag. Like me, it's hard for me to make friends with females. It's really hard for me to make friends. But I have female friends.
Yvonne.
I have female friends that I hold very near and dear to my heart. So I know that I can build those relationships.
Not all women are evil.
Yeah, not all women.
Some are seasonal, but
most women are evil. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
It's a joke.
Don't come at me. It's a joke.
But friendships are very seasonal too.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yes.
All right. So, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, but are male friends secretly waiting on the sidelines for their female friends to be available? And then at that point, if it is true, is it then considered a conditional friendship? Like, I'm only friends with you until you break up with your
You
man.
break up with numbnuts.
Yeah.
You know?
And then if you don't end up with me, well, then we're no longer friends.
I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen to some of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll be like, yeah, you know, my bestie, blah 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 blah. And then as soon as whatever relationship they're in is broken, guess who's dating their bestie? He slides right in.
He slides
on
right in.
I think, and women too. I think women are worse.
Well, they're way more conniving. Men are a little bit, they don't know how to hide it, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
and they're a little patient and they sit around,
Yeah.
And they're like,
But you can see those puppy dog eyes and
Yeah.
stuff. But women are conniving. They'll even start.
I'm sorry, girls.
They'll befriend the female
Yeah.
just to like create this wedge between the relationship, and then
They poison the
their friend.
relationship,
Yeah.
and then they step in, and then they start a relationship.
Or how about the female friends? Okay, now we're talking about the friend. The female friends of these males that are in a relationship or end up in a relationship, and they're feeding them
Oh yeah.
lies or whatever. What's the saying? Like, misery loves company, right? They just feed them things, and they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you for themselves, but they also don't want you to be happy, because then that means our friendship ends, because now you're happy and I'm not. I don't have anybody. We can't go double dating. You know what I'm saying?
And always fact check
Mhm.
what is being fed to you.
Oh yeah.
Like, have the conversation
Mhm.
with your significant other and be like, hey, just curious. I
Mhm.
mean, word it the way you want to word it, but have that conversation. Don't assume because somebody's telling you something that is factual.
Exactly. Or don't assume also that you feel the same way that that person feels, because there could have been something between, say I'm in a relationship and he has a best friend that's a female, or a friend, or a bunch of friends, and they're feeding him these things about me because they don't know me. They didn't take the time to get to know me. Maybe because I'm a little bit blocked off. I just said I don't make friends very easily. Maybe I'm a little bit blocked off. Or maybe they've seen my guards up with their friend because I'm still trying to get to know him. So he's not going to know everything about me right from the jump, but we're going to be building this. If that man then allows these lies or these women to infect his
way of
view,
thinking,
his view of me or way of thinking, then that's going to be a little, to me that's a red flag, because then you don't think for yourself. I've said it plenty of times on all these episodes. I will take in information and I usually put it in my back pocket and I'll use it for later. Maybe I'll see, like, Joe thinks something of this person that I find attractive and she kind of gets a weird vibe from him and she might tell me. That doesn't mean that I'm automatically going to stop talking to this person.
Oh, she won't.
You know, and I won't. I have to see it for myself. I have to see it for myself. I don't live my life that way. So I wouldn't expect my significant other to then just go by the words of some women that don't even fucking know me, or haven't taken the time to get to know me.
Yeah.
Have you asked me, hey, let's go have lunch, let's go have dinner, just you and I, because you're going to be dating my friend. I want to see if you're good enough for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something, and I would go. I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's go. You know, go ahead. 20 questions, rapid fire. Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so what do I have now? Yeah, conditional friendship. I have the what the fuck moment. That would have been Linda's. She's not feeling well, but I'm going to go ahead and insert a little what the fuck moment here for her on her behalf. And I have to go to my phone. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So this is not one that she had for me. This is one that I had just sitting there because, you know, I'm a planner. So I always have stuff. I ran into a reel that says that there's a fact about men. The length of his penis, of his member, is
cucumber.
Is exactly half the length between his wrist and his elbow. So I was talking with Joe earlier before we started recording, and I said, you know, the size of your foot is from your wrist to your elbow. You put your foot here, and that's how big. And I'm like, damn, I have a big foot, you know, like from here to here. But I actually had a friend test this theory out, a male friend, okay? And I told him, you need to do this for me, please. Because I need this as scientific facts. It is in fact true. Lo and behold, he said it's true. He said it's true. And I'm like, okay, was this at rest or was it like with morning wood? Because I asked him like first, I asked him late at night and then he responded to me in the morning. He's like, no, with morning wood. And he said, and he's tall, he's got long arms, whatever. They're not short like mine. But he went from his wrist. He said it's from my wrist halfway down, halfway through, to my elbow.
She
And I was
needed
like,
details for what the fuck moment.
I did. I needed details. I did. But what the fuck? Did anybody else
Confirmation.
know that though? Like,
No.
did you know that?
No, that was crazy. When you showed me that, I was like, what?
I'm like, okay, gentlemen, we need for you guys where you're on a mission. You have to prove this what the fuck moment here because I had no idea. I mean, I knew
never
about the
knew
foot
that.
thing again, And we were saying that kind of makes sense, because they say men with large feet, they have large members, but large packages. But please measure from here to however long. But that's what they said, that this is how you measure. That's how you'll know.
Be Yvette's guinea pig.
Please. We need more scientific proof here. Anyway, that was my what the fuck moment because I was like, I'm sorry, what?
That was crazy. When I saw it, I was like, "Get what?"
I know. And thank you to my friend. He knows who he is. Mwah. Thank you for being my little guinea pig and helping me out with this. Okay, so moving on. Moving right along. Men allow women to have opinions about a lot of different things, whereas women only connect with other women who think like them.
Oof.
What do you think about that statement? Mm-hmm. Basically saying that your male friends will allow you to be who you are, and your female friends will only allow you to.
They'll only connect on things that y'all agree
upon. Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know because I do feel that with a man you're more yourself because it's easier. They're less judgmental, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I prefer my gal friends to have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it makes more for conversations.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we've proven that on the podcast.
Yeah.
You say one thing, I say I disagree. She says another, I say I disagree. But I think everybody having their own identity to me is so cool.
Yeah.
And it just makes everything connect more.
Yeah. Yeah. But do you think that in a group of female friendships, that maybe you're not accepted as well if you don't think like everybody else? Has that happened?
I have never really been truly accepted. I think we talked about this on one of our episodes. I had said that I never fit in with different cultures. I was always that one kid that was all over the place and I was friends with everybody. So I've really never fit in to the Hispanic culture, the Black culture, because I was never accepted by the females. In those, I was accepted by the males, but I was never accepted by the females.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. To answer your question, I feel as it's like hit or miss with me, whether that's even a thing. Because I've never been accepted. So to me, it doesn't really affect me in any way. To me, I'd rather have people that have different opinions than people that have one thing in common and we all have different opinions. Like, riding with the girls and all that. Everyone's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not any girl is the same.
But you had the thing in common that bonded you.
Yeah.
Which was
just
writing.
one thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I have to agree with the statement only because it has happened to me.
I got her to agree. Look at that face.
Yeah, I have to agree that I prefer to be friends with people who don't think like me. But I do like to be around people who are like-minded. Like, I'm just going to throw that out there and people are going to come at me. I know it. I am not a Democrat. I'm sorry. And I'm not a feminist. I'm sorry. I'm not. And ouch, so, ouch. I know. The daggers are going to be coming, but it's fine. I've always been like a lone wolf, and I always say that. I've always been the odd man out because I don't think like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I do feel though, when my friendships with men, they do allow me to be just who I am, and they can actually be like that with me too, and they know that I'm not going to judge them in that kind of way. But like you, I have felt like I have been judged my whole life, because I think differently, and you know, I don't get invited to certain things, and it's totally fine. Like I'm good.
I'm good being the lone wolf myself.
I am good. I do not need to be invited to the garden party with like 20 women. Like, that's a lot of fucking estrogen going around there. Like, no thanks.
I don't get jelly
good.
very fast.
I
I'm
don't
just
either.
like, I'd rather be home, kicking back, having a beer, sitting on the deck.
Yep, exactly. Again, I just connect better with men. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Well, I think I know what it is. It's what you said in the beginning. You're more in tune with your masculine side versus the feminine. I'd like to think though that we're getting better. We're getting better balance, our masculine and feminine energy. So yeah,
We're working on it,
working
guys.
on it.
The podcast has helped.
It has helped a lot, actually. Yeah. Okay, so there's another IG reel that, again, because we're talking about men and women being friends, right? This one lady, she's a psychologist. I like her. I actually follow her on Facebook. Her first name is Sadia, Sadia, but I forgot her last name. But she...
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Very beautiful, long, beautiful hair. And I want to say she's from the Middle East or something. I don't know, but
I know who you're talking about. She's
super
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Yeah. But man, she's always spitting out truths. Gosh, I love her because of that. Like, she's not afraid. Yeah. She's not afraid to just like, but on this particular reel, she said that it's hard for men to understand that women do have male friends because women would rather have a male friend who secretly loves us than a female friend who secretly hates us.
Oof.
And women crave male friendships because of the difficulty in finding real female friendships. Isn't that something? I know. I was like, mic drop. And with that, we bid you adieu. No. No, seriously. I love the way she puts things. But
it makes perfect sense. And that's what we were talking about with women, is like, you never know where they're coming from.
No.
Because I think the jealousy and the emotions take over their thought process.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just love someone to love someone. Your girlfriend, like, truly love her, not be jealous of her, be supportive. But there's always that one thing that separates and becomes something even bigger.
Yeah.
You know?
I do think that too. And she also said, which reminded me of something you said in one of our episodes, and I feel like we were talking, I think it was in female friendships, where I asked the question of, do men have these strong bonds between them? And then you mentioned something about when a man is done, he's done. He will cut you off. And that's what she said too. Males are very good at compartmentalizing their friendships and their feelings and their emotions, that when somebody does something wrong, they're like, you're done. So if a man doesn't like another man, then they just cut the friendship, they cut the ties, and there's no more friendship, and then you're done.
You part ways.
Whereas the females, they don't like you because you disagree with them or because their man looked at you funny, It doesn't even have to be something that you did. But then the females will then continue. They'll invite you to brunch and then talk behind your back when you get up to use the restroom. And you know what is so funny? You and I both, we feel energies very strongly. And I can feel when women are looking at me weird, when they've talked about me and they give me that little look of like, and I'm just like, girl, man.
And don't get us together.
You're doing it all for nothing, basically, because I'm like a man. I'm very good at cutting you off. I don't give a fuck. We could have been friends for 30 years, which I wouldn't do that to you, Yvonne. But we could have been friends for a very long time. And you do something, start treating me a certain way, and I'm just going to be like, bitch, I don't need your energy in my life. I'm sorry. That's just who I am. That is who I am. And I feel like that's a protective mechanism on my part, because growing up, I had such haters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for no fucking reason. Girls that didn't even fucking know me just hated me because I don't even know why. I couldn't explain to you why. Maybe because I didn't give them the attention that other girls did. I don't know. Because I didn't play the whole.
No, because you didn't, like you were getting ready to say, sorry to interrupt you,
Mhm.
but you didn't play the same game everybody else did.
Right.
So you
Mhm.
were the last man standing. They pushed you out, and you were the one that they talked about all the time because of the difference in opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't worship the tall blonde, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you chose to keep that kind heart and be who you are,
Yeah.
you know. So be yourself, baby.
That's all I can be is myself.
Be yourself.
And that's all you can be is yourself. You can't change anybody, and that is what it is. You have to let people be who they are. Now, you then have to decide, do you want to keep them in your life or not? And again, like I said, I'm so quick. I'm like, bye-bye. No hard feelings. I don't wish you any ill will or anything. You're just not going to have access to me. That's just plain and simple. You just won't have access to me. That's it. And we could have been super tight, and then you do something and I'm just like, okay, I see you now. I'm letting you be who you are, and I see you. So it is what it is. Anyway, I saw another reel.
She doesn't spend enough time on Instagram. Yep.
This is actually a male. This was coming from a guy, okay? And I wish I could play it because maybe
It was
I
that
should,
good?
but it was really good. But he said that male and female friendships are delusional. They are he disagrees with all of us, what we've been saying here, that we could be friends. He says absolutely not. He says that male and female friendships are delusional. Men and women are two parts of the universe that collectively come together to create life.
Men and women cannot be friends with each other because we've never been friends and we never will be. We are two parts of the universe that collectively come together to create life. Don't disrespect that by calling it friends.
True friendship cannot exist between men and women because we are meant to be attracted to each other. We're meant to procreate. We are meant to live life together, but not on a friendship level. Now, should you be friends? This is where I differ from what he's saying. Should you be friends with your mate? Yes. You have to have a friendship. You have to be able to get along with them on a different level than just procreating. Actually having a foundation for your relationship as you starting off as friendships, I think that's a great thing. What do you think?
I must agree. And the reason why I agree is because we were put on this earth to be in pairs.
Mm-hmm.
And one day we all find that one person that is our best friend, our better half, our partner in crime, whatever. And then after that, we're meant to love one another.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're a guy, girl, whatever you want to be. It doesn't matter. We were put on this earth to love one another.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter the color, the gender, sex, whatever you want to call it. That's what we were meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have our designated partner. Truly, wholeheartedly believe that. But I also feel like everyone around us also needs to feel that love, that connection. That's why there's so many of us.
Yeah.
Because there's friendships to be had. There's relationships to be had. So
very true.
I beg to differ with you, homie. I'll procreate with my partner.
Maybe I'll put a little clip on there. I'll add a little clip of what he was saying. It's too long. Like I think it was like 3 minutes long or something like that. So it's too long. It doesn't allow me to add that long of a clip, but maybe I'll put just a little, just so you could hear it from his point of view or whatever. But he does say that male and female friendships are delusional. Okay.
Well, you can also be friends and have a female and male friendship, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to spend every breathing moment with that person.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like when you do that, then I can see where things can get mixed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think when there's like some type of separation in there, you have less of a chance for that to build.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now we have our words of wisdom from Miss Joanna.
Espérate. I gotta look on my phone too. And no, these are not my readers, so make all the jokes you want.
She needs some though.
I need some, trust me. Because 50's coming.
Oh yeah.
And intuitive women's ability to read the room is exactly why she's at home or in nature most of the time. It's just different when energy is your first language.
Ooh, yeah.
And
I feel
I
like
cut
that
out
was for
some
me.
words because that English was broken.
That was broken English. But I feel that though, because I feel like that's my language. My language is energy. Yeah. Especially now, like as
Of late, it's been crazy.
it's been wild. Yeah. And, but I feel like I listen or pay attention more to people's energy than I do to their words, to what they're saying. You know what I mean? So I agree with that, with the words of wisdom today, because it just, as women especially, I feel like we're meant, and this is going to be for another episode.
This is going to be good because I kind of know what she's going to say. Go ahead.
As men are supposed to be here to be our protectors here on this, in this world, in this realm. Women were their spiritual protectors. So it's okay for us to be submissive and, fall into that role because we're protecting them on a spiritual realm. So what does that mean? That means that we are more spiritually connected than men, and it's okay to be, that we're supposed to be. They are here in the physical world, in the physical, to protect us physically, and that's their job. And they're warriors here on earth, and we are warriors up in the spiritual realms, and so we're meant to protect them in that way and help to guide them as well, and each other.
Mm-hmm.
So those words just resonate big time with me, because I'm like, oh yeah, like women, we feel things differently than men do. Not to say that men are not spiritual beings and that they're not in tune with their own emotions or with their intuition, but for women, I feel like it's even heightened.
Heightened. For sure, because
Yeah.
we're emotional creatures.
Yeah.
So we feel everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I saw that one, I was like, that's a good one.
It was a great one. Loved it. Okay, well, Linda, she did say that her babies were not feeling well either. So sending her some healing vibes. And we want to thank everybody for joining us on this episode of Chats con Sabor. And we will see you on the next one.
Bye. Adios.
Adios, amigos.